All right, good Thursday morning, and thank you so much for waking up with us on Daybreak. I'm Matt Howerton.
And I'm Dia Wall. We're going to get things started right away with meteorologist Greg Fields, traffic anchor Erica Lopez help you start this Thursday.
Yeah, right now we are dealing with a wreck in Navarro County. Aside from that, Metroplex is pretty quiet.
Yeah. Quiet weather-wise, yeah, but storms back in the forecast here, so that's one of the things you do need to know. Got a little bit of a break yesterday, only some very isolated activity around. Starts to pick up a little bit today, but still isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms to end the week today and tomorrow. Now we'll carry those rain chances into the weekend, maybe bump them up just a little bit, especially heading on into Saturday. So we'll talk more about that for you coming up here in a few minutes. And yes, we do have some warmer temperatures on the way as well as we get into next week. So we'll get into that too. But for right now, you can see the partly to mostly cloudy skies taking you out to our studios here in downtown Dallas, looking at 71 degrees, winds very light here again this morning. Now we'll have those lower 70s, even some upper 60s, getting out to Mineral Wells at 69, 71 coming over to Fort Worth along with Terrell and Canton, and 68 as we get out to Greenville right now. So here is that day planner. Going to put the coverage with the showers and storms 20, maybe 30% for that drive home later on today, as we'll top out around 86 or so for that high with those southeast winds at around 5 to 10 through the day. But we'll wrap up the week tomorrow, get on into the weekend coming up here in just a few minutes. But now let's get back over to Erica checking on traffic.
Greg, thank you so much. Yeah, we want to get you started with your traffic impact drive in Navarro County. If you need to head out the door in the Rice area, just off of 45, this is on the service road on the southbound side. We're dealing with an overturned semi-truck crash that is working to be cleared at the moment. We got these photos from the Rice Volunteer Fire Department this morning. We do know that one person is working to be that is trapped inside one of those semi-trucks this morning. Again, this is not on 45. It is just off on the service road. If you need to travel that way or you rely on that, that's going to be something you want to keep in mind. In Parker County this morning, we're dealing with some road work along I-20 in the Weatherford area, right around 180, showing you where this is on the map. We've just got lanes getting ready to reopen here right at 502. This is what things are looking like elsewhere across North Texas. A lot of green on the map. No other major incidents to worry about in Denton County. We're moving nicely at 35E and 35W there at the split, and travel for you this morning is looking good. Again, across the rest of our counties right now.
This morning, opening statements are set to begin in the trial over a deadly track meet stabbing.
It's a case we followed closely from the very beginning. Carmelo Anthony is accused of killing Austin Metcalf last spring during that high school track meet.
Our Janelle Fort live outside the Collin County Courthouse this morning, where the jury is now seated. But Janelle, there's still questions about how that jury was formed.
Yeah, Matt and Dia, we're still about 4 hours away from opening statements here, but this morning we know that 12 jurors and 6 alternates have been seated in this case, and they will decide whether Carmelo Anthony is guilty of murder. But the final stretch of jury selection came with an objection tied to race that is now drawing a lot of attention. Before the final panel was seated, the defense attorney objected to 3 people prosecutors removed from the jury and asked the judge to reinstate them. The defense said those 3 were the only people left in the pool of potential jurors who said they identified as African American. Now, prosecutors said they removed those jurors because all 3 are educators, and the judge allowed those removals. Our legal expert was inside the courtroom and explained what prosecutors had to show in that moment.
You have to give race-neutral reasons why certain jurors or a group of individuals were struck. And in this case, the state had a reason. They were educators.
Now, but that decision has raised concern from activists. The Next Generation Action Network said, quote, when qualified jurors are excluded in a manner that appears to be systematically eliminate representation from a community directly impacted by the outcome of a case, it creates legitimate concerns about whether justice can truly be administered fairly and impartially. There is also important context here that I want to add. Reporters and the public were not in the room when the jurors were selected and when they were questioned. That process was shown on a closed circuit feed in an overflow room, and that did not show the jurors. So right now we have not seen the final jury makeup and cannot say what racial, age, or gender makeup the jury is. We do, however, expect to see them here in court today. There are also no cameras. Live streams or audio recordings allowed inside the courtroom, and a gag order prevents attorneys, families, witnesses, and investigators from speaking publicly about this case. So from here, much of what we learn will come from our reporters and legal expert inside the courtroom. Again, proceedings are expected to start here 9 o'clock this morning. That is when jurors will hear each side begin to explain what they say happened at that Frisco ISD track meet where Austin Metcalf was killed. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you so much, Chanel. From start to finish, we will bring you complete coverage of what's happening inside the courtroom. Make sure to watch after the trial on WFAA Plus. Our team will break down the latest developments of each day in court at 8 p.m.
This morning, there are new calls to action after the Stars and Mavs announced plans to move out of the American Airlines Center. City Council member Maxie Johnson is set to address the situation this morning, specifically trying to keep the Mavs downtown. In a statement, Johnson said moving the team to the old Valley View Mall area would shift more economic opportunities away from the city's urban core.
Mark Cuban is also weighing in on the move out of the American Airlines Center. The now minority owner of the Mavs told us he has a lot of concern about losing 2 teams downtown in just 2 days. He told us in a statement, quote, "It wouldn't shock me if landowners down there tried to work together to find some way to use the AAC. I don't know what that would be."
Let's get you 3 things that you need to know this morning. The flesh-eating New World screwworm is now in Texas. The parasite was detected in a 3-week-old calf in La Pryor, southwest of San Antonio. It feeds on animal flesh. Screwworms mostly target livestock, but they can also affect pets, wildlife, even people. The USDA has set up a 12-mile infestation zone, all in hopes of eradicating it. Beef prices are already up 13%, and the screwworm could make matters worse.